Okay, welcome back. In this video, we're going to continue implementing strafing. In the last video, we got a movement offset yaw, which gave us a value determining the difference in rotation in the yaw between our velocity and the direction we're aiming in, and that's going to tell us which strafing animation to play. In this video, we're going to create a blend space for strafing. Now recall in shooterCharacter.cpp, we set this variable useControllerRotationYaw to true, which means we should rotate along with the controller. Now, sometimes when we make a change in C++, we don't see that change reflected in blueprints, and that's because if it's set in blueprints, that setting could override the default C++ value set in the constructor. So open up shooterCharacter.bp, and we'll open the full blueprint editor, and in the details panel, type in yaw, and we'll see that use controller rotation yaw is still set to false. It's unchecked here. So that's overwriting our true value in C++. Go ahead and check that, compile and save, and now if we press play, now the character is inheriting the rotation yaw from the controller. This is what we want because now we'll be pointing in the direction we're aiming so that strafing will allow us to run to the side while we're still looking forward. That's what strafing means. Okay, so we're ready to create our blend space for running. We're going to put the blend space in the animations folder. And when I say the animations folder, I mean _game/character/animations. Now, right click, go to animation, and select blend space. Don't take blend space 1D, choose blend space. This is a 2D blend space. Now we need to select the Bellica skeleton. And we'll go ahead and call this running blend space. Go ahead and open up running blend space. So here in the asset details panel, where it says axis settings, we have horizontal and vertical axis. Click the drop down next to these and you'll see that we can give them some properties. Now for the vertical axis, let's call this lean. This is so we can take care of leaning. We'll take care of that later. We're taking baby steps. We don't want to implement everything all at once. In this video, we're concerning ourselves with strafing. Now the horizontal axis, we'll call this offset yaw. And it's going to go from a minimum value of -180 to a maximum value of 180. Remember, our offset yaw goes from -180 to 180. When we were looking forward and moving to the right, our offset yaw was 90. When we were looking forward and moving left, our offset yaw was -90, and so on. Now we're going to add animations along this horizontal axis. And what's going to happen is the blend space will choose to blend between animations that we place along this line depending on the value of offset yaw. When offset yaw is 0, which is the middle here, we simply want to be jogging forward. So let's find the jog forward animation. And here it is, jog forward. Click and drag it directly in the middle. We're in the middle of the horizontal axis and we're in the middle of the vertical axis. Now, if the offset yaw is close to 180 or -180, that means we're looking forward and moving backward. So we need to be jogging backward. So find jog BWD, that's jog backward, and put jog backward all the way to the right and all the way to the left. Now, in between the center and the outer, which is 180 and -180, we're going to want our strafing right and left animations. So here in between 0 and 180 in the horizontal axis, we're going to place a jog right animation. So search for jog, R-I-G-H-T, jog right, and drag in jog right here where the offset yaw is 90. Now for this location where the offset yaw is -90, we want jog left. So search for jog left and drag jog left in here. Now if you hold the shift key and move your mouse around, you'll see how she's blending between these animations depending on the value of offset yaw. And we'll see that in the middle we have jog forward, just to the right of that we have jog right, and then all the way to -180 we have jog backward. And then just to the left we have jog left, and all the way to the left at -180 we're at jog backward again. So we have this blend space. Now let's use it. Go ahead and click Save and close out of it. And let's go back to the character folder and open Shooter Anim BP. Go back to the ground locomotion state machine and enter the run state. Instead of playing just jog forward, now we'd like to use our new blend space. Here it is in the asset browser. Click and drag it in, and we have running blend space. Take its output pin and connect it to output animation pose, and we can delete jog forward. Now the running blend space has two axes, and these axes are driven by data that we pass in to these pins. Now again, lean we don't have to worry about because we're not using it yet. We need offset yaw. Now remember, we created a variable in the anim instance. Back here in shooter anim instance.h, we called that variable movement offset yaw. And if you'll recall in the previous video, we set that value in update animation properties by getting aim rotation and movement rotation, getting a delta between those two, and setting movement offset yaw. Now because movement offset yaw is blueprint read write, we can access it from blueprints, and we're going to do just that here in the blueprint. Right click and type movement offset, and you'll see get movement offset yaw. We're going to plug that right into offset yaw, just like that. Compile and save. Now let's test it out. Let's hit play, and we can run forward. Now we're playing the run forward animation. Now let's go ahead and run right, and we're strafing to the right. Go ahead and run left, and we're strafing to the left. And the beauty about this is we used a blend space. So we can move, say, 45 degrees, and we're blending between the jog forward and strafe right animations. Or we can go 45 degrees backward, and we're blending between those animations. So no matter which direction we're facing and which direction we're running, we're always going to get the correct strafing animation because it's blending based on movement offset yaw. Pretty amazing. So this is going to conclude this video. In this video, we implemented strafing using a blend space 2D to select which animation to play based on our variable we created in the previous video, movement offset yaw. In the next video, we're going to take care of our jog start animations and jog stop animations, because remember, when we first start running, we start with the jog start animation, and then when we stop running, we have the stop animation played. But when we start running, say, to the right, we get that jog forward starting animation, and when we stop, we get the jog forward stop animation. Same with jogging left. It doesn't look right because she starts running forward and then blends into the strafing animation. We want her to have a jog right start animation and a jog right stop animation. In the next video, we're going to figure out just how to do that, so stay tuned.